Hello, everyone. My name is Mona Rahimi, Certified Grief Recovery Method Specialist. I have started a series of educational and informative videos about recognizing loss, about processing grief, and about recovery, which is getting better. I'm putting all of these videos on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Mona, GRMS, Grief Recovery Method Specialist, Rahimi, RAHIMI, and if you subscribe, you can have access to all the feature videos that I'm going to be doing. Today's topic is what to say and not to say to the grievers, which is a really important question that we should ask ourselves. Grief, as the Grief Recovery Method Institute's definition is, grief is a normal and natural response to loss of any kind. Loss, we have identified 41 losses, so it's not just death, it's divorce, it's financial hardship, it's a change of job, it's loss of friendship, it's moving, it's going to school, it's getting married, it's anything that there's a change in a familiar pattern of behavior um, is loss, and we will be grieving after we experience a loss. But society believes that these feelings are not normal and not natural. Uh, Grief is one of the most misunderstood and neglected experiences that is experienced both by grievers and the people around the grievers. So I would like to give you an example of what I am talking about. Something happens, I lose my job, I lose a friendship, and the statements that I make, and these statements we make about ourselves and about our friends and other people, that I suck, I am overwhelmed, I'm a mess, I just can't handle it anymore. What I really am saying in these situations are that I am sad, that I'm devastated, that I'm grieving. And unfortunately, when we make these statements about ourselves and not recognizing the feeling that we have, then we're identifying the wrong feeling, so we're going to go to a different direction. Sometimes grievers hear things that might be intellectually correct, but emotionally not helpful at all. So these are some of the things that we should not tell a griever. As I mentioned, things that intellectually could be right. About 15 years ago, lost my son in a massive house fire, and to save him, I almost died. I was in a hospital and in a coma, and I had third-degree burns, and I wasn't able to breathe on my own. So it was a very long process for me to get back on my feet, and I had a 10-year-old to take care of as well, which was unharmed in this fire. So I heard a lot of um, things that intellectually might have been correct, right, but emotionally were not helpful at all. Statements like, um, be strong for your daughter, do not let your daughter see your tears, um, he's in a better place, while be grateful that your daughter is alive. And yeah, intellectually that's correct. And I know my daughter did survive the fire, but I lost the son, and I needed to be grieving instead of trying to process all of these statements that are being said to me, and I am feeling something different, so I'm being conflicted, and I decide that to isolate. And that's what happened to grievers when we give them advice, and these are, I know it comes from a place of love. We don't want to see our friend, our loved one, in pain. We don't want to see them sad, so we try to come up with all of these advices. But As a griever and as a certified grief recovery method specialist, I can 100% assure you that these are not helpful, that these statements have never ever been validated by any institute. These are things that we have learned, and they're in a computer of our brain, of our mind. And as soon as we experience any kind of loss, this comes up, and it automatically we tell other people, you know, don't be sad. Um, don't cry. Don't let other people see you cry. So, when we tell someone to be strong and not to cry, we are telling them to go and isolate, right? We are asking them to, because we don't want to see you crying, because society believes that you are weak and you're vulnerable. And so we decide to go in our rooms and cry alone. So these are definitely statements that we should not tell a griever. We should not tell a griever to be grateful for anything. We should not um, tell a griever that, if someone has died, you tell them that. And I hear that this a lot. I mean, he's in heaven. Yes, he's in heaven, but um, what am I going to do? When you shift from head, which is the intellect, to heart, that's when your healing will start. And that's how we can help other people to heal, to tell them that it is okay to feel bad, it is okay to feel sad, um, is what will get them through the pain and will get them to recovery. So the things that we should say to grievers is we need to validate and acknowledge what they're feeling. So when you tell, I know that we hear this a lot, especially on the shows. We're so sorry for your loss. It's so impersonal and so cliche that when you are talking to a loved one and someone that you know, a friend, you really need to personalize it a little bit more. There is no harm, like the harm of saying be strong, stay strong, whatever. No harm in saying, condolences or I'm sorry for your loss, but it lacks a warmth. We can personalize it. We can say that I'm so sorry to hear about your dad. I'm so sorry. Uh, Tell me what happened. I cannot even imagine what you're feeling right now. Um, when, and don't make it about you. You can give an example and say, I was in a similar situation and I realize how painful it is. But please, nothing to divert the attention from the griever. I know how you feel because and then you give them a story. Storytelling does not help at all, especially if we are telling a story that is irrelevant or, nobody knows what another person is going through when they experience a loss. When at the beginning, some people told me that, I know what you're going through. I lost my dog, and I used to get offended, but since I went to grief recovery, and I've realized that people actually experience grief at 100%. When that person was telling me how that he understands me because he lost his dog, it's because he was experiencing grief at 100%, and I was experiencing grief at 100% when I lost my son. So we should not compare losses at all. We should not belittle somebody else's loss. The words like, at least you have, whatever comes after that is not going to be helpful, no matter what it is. Um, I was told that, at least your face didn't burn. Well, yeah, intellectually true, but 60% of my body was burned, so um, not helpful. So what we are trying to do here is we're shifting from here to heart, from here to heart. That's how we can help somebody else through grieving. That's how we can help ourselves through grieving, to give ourselves enough credit for the fact that yes, it is okay to be sad. It is okay not to be okay for that moment, and it's a long process. And for a very long time, we might feel sad, and those emotions might come up. There is no time limit. There is no. People might say to you, "Well, it's time to stop. For you to stop." Um, Somebody might get over a loss a lot faster than somebody else, a similar loss. We are unique. We go through losses and experience them differently, so we cannot tell somebody else that it's time for you to move on. No, we don't know. We don't know that. Um, if we are ready to move on, if we want to move on, then maybe we can ask for help, and we don't know how to. Then we can ask for help and to go and move on. But not because your friends are telling you that you need to move on. You don't have to. So these are a few things that I thought I shared with you from my own experience and from learning it from Grief Recovery Method. I really wish that somebody had told me that, are you sad? Well, I cannot imagine more appropriate feeling than being sad. If you want to cry, I cannot imagine more appropriate thing to do if you want to cry. I really wish that somebody had told me that, because that would have really stuck with me. Um, of all the advices and of all the things that people said to me, I just remember one lady that was my mom's friend and told me that my heart burns for you. And it was said in my own language, so it meant a lot. And I remember her and where she said it and the hug she gave me. So remember, hugs are very, very valuable when someone is experiencing grief. Ask for their permission to be with them, to validate them, to acknowledge them, and acknowledge their feelings, and that will help them to move on. And please make sure that they don't isolate, that if you can, you'll be there for them. Tell them that you're a heart with two ears and you will listen and you will do. And grievers do need help with regular stuff, you know, going to the grocery shop and get some grocery, helping to pick up a kid one or two times a week, things like that are helpful and will allow them to feel and grieve. I hope that you find these helpful, and if you have any questions, please call me or email me. My email is Mona Rahimi GRM @gmail.com, and my number is 818-458-4054. I can, there is in Grief Recovery Method, there's a program that help with moving on, and I can help you if you want. Call me and we can have a conversation. Thank you so much.